Hi, I'm Tyler, and welcome to another episode of my Christian Media Week reviews. Each week I take 5 releases, be it LTPs or singles, and after I listen to them all week, I come back here and I review them. I share what I think about them. So without further ado, let's get to this week's first release. TobyMac's new single featuring his daughter Marlee, Everything About You. So before I dive into my thoughts on TobyMac's new single featuring his daughter Marlee, Everything About You, let me just say a couple things. Number one, thanks Christian Music Girl for requesting this single, and also for the Reach Records Summer Playlist and the Jodi Essex EP Fearless. That will be coming up a little later in this video. Also, if you want to hear my thoughts on all the other singles from Toby's upcoming album, Life After Death, you can go back and check out my thoughts on those after we're done. Let's talk about Everything About You in this video. So, pretty good song here. Stylistically, a beautiful R&B ballad. Both Toby and his daughter Marlee do a good job on singing on this song. And as for the lyrics here, pretty emotional lyrics here. So, a little bit of context here. So, Toby's son and Marlee's brother, Truett, passed away a few years ago, and this song, Toby and Marlee talk about how this world feels truthfully cold and empty, and this nightmare without Truett, and Toby and Marlee say they miss being around Truett. I think the most emotional part of the song is the bridge, where Marlee says she misses all these things about Truett, and I particularly got emotional when she says that she's left driving his old car, driving her brother's old car. So I found that part in particular pretty emotional. Up next, the deluxe edition of Switchfoot-interrobang Deluxe Edition. Alright, so before Christian Music Girl, I talk about Reach Records Summer 22 playlist. Let me take a little side here to talk about the deluxe edition of Switchfoot's latest album, Interrobang. So pretty good deluxe edition here, and what is new on this deluxe edition? So in addition to all the original songs, we have 3 new songs, 3 new B-sides here. We have the alternative pop rock Interrobang, and then we have You for the Young, which has kind of a alternative rock with alternative pop rock elements feel, and then The Sound of Holding Breath, which is definitely an alternative ballad. We also have 2 remixes as well. A remix of I Need You to Be Wrong, which kind of has a more of a pop rock feel to this alternative song, and it's a little more vibrant as well, might I add, with the remix. And then the Sir Sly remix, Wolves, takes kind of a more EDM feel to this alternative song. And as for the lyrics here, and I'm going to speak for the whole album here, pretty good lyrics here. And one thing I noticed too is when I went back and reviewed it this go around, even though I haven't listened to Interrobang much since I reviewed it, I definitely was able to dig in a little deeper to some of the lyrical themes I felt like, and notice a few things that I maybe missed the first go around of reviewing Interrobang. Anyhow, as for the lyrics here, John talks to his wife, and I'm speaking for the new songs and the old songs alike. John talks to his wife who has had the light dulled in her from buying into the media's fearful greed that has overthrown truth's control in this world instead of finding her soul in God, and it's led them into disagreement where they speak damaging words to each other to prove the other one wrong. But John wants to go back to their past to apologize for what they've spoken and to try to bring their relationship into a new day where they turn off the media, see their need for each other and their differences, and put the light back on in each other's eyes by enjoying each other. Up next, Reach Records Summer 22 playlist. Alright, thank you, Christian Music Girl, for requesting me to bring back Reach Records 116 Summer Playlist for yet another year. So let's dive into it. Reach Records Summer 22 Playlist. So, let's talk about who's on this playlist. So, we have most of Reach Records' roster on here, at least more than not. While we don't have Andy Mineo, Holby, or One Day, we do have, on from Reach Records roster, Lecrae, Tadashi, Tripwee, 1K Few, and What Up RG. We also have some notable non-Reach Records artists, including Miles Minnick, No Big Deal, DJ Mike LB, Chastity, and others. I actually kind of like the pop feel on Chastity's songs here. And pretty good playlist here. Stylistically, definitely a hip-hop release. A lot of it bangers, but even if it's not necessarily a hard-hitting song, it's usually pretty upbeat at least. Stylistically hip-hop with some definite trap and pop influences here. Vocally here, we have rapping, rapping, and singing. And as for the lyrics here, love the lyrics on here too. Pretty good lyrics on here too. The artists on this playlist talk about how they've been perfectly weighted through being unknown in the setbacks that should have left them dead. But now that they're covered in Jesus' blood and raised up by the Holy Spirit to be joyfully alive and free, they're working passionately hard against the odds through faith in God, who in His love has strengthened their weakness, to reach the world with His supernatural healing forgiveness that gives new life. Up next, Naomi Raine of Maverick City Music soul debut, Journey. Alright, so before Christian Music Girl, I talk about Jodi Essex's EP, Fearless. I'm going to take a little aside here to talk about Naomi Raine of Maverick City Music's soul debut, Journey. Let's dive into it. So pretty good soul debut overall here. I would say the first couple songs I thought kind of sounded a little awkward to start off with. I felt like, but she eventually, I feel like, settles in after a couple songs and sounds really good from there on. Stylistically here, R&B first and foremost, but definitely some pop, hip-hop, and shouldn't surprise you to know, since she's part of Maverick City Music, worship elements as well. And as for the lyrics here, pretty good lyrics here. Pretty honest lyrics too, might I add. And before I dive into lyrics, in addition to the song, she also has these car chat interludes where she says some pretty good stuff as well. And I incorporated those into the analysis of the lyrics in addition to what she says when she sings. And as for the lyrics here now, Naomi talks about how she struggles to surrender her stress in the dark, fearful night of conflict, but she learns in that night to fearlessly trust that God's love is sufficient and is close with her to have her right where she meant her to be. Sacrificially loving people, especially her family, like Jesus, even when she doesn't know what to do. Up next, our last release for today, Jodi Essex's new EP, Fearless. Jodi Essex's new EP, Fearless. Let's dive into it. So, and by the way, thanks again, Christian Music Girl, for requesting this EP. Now let's dive into it. So, this EP has a good sound to it, and she has a good voice, I would say. But sometimes her voice can get a little over-the-top dramatic, and her performance can get a little over-the-top dramatic, which I wasn't really a big fan of, to be honest, how it sounded on the EP. But that's just my take. Stylistically here, definitely a hard rock and hard pop rock EP overall. We do have a rock worship ballad in Unravel, And Shine has kind of more of a pop rock feel without being necessarily heavy. And as for the lyrics here, so even if I'm a little so on her vocal performance, I love the lyrics here. Love her heart for the gospel here, expressed on the sound. EP. Jodi talks about how in the dark of fear that the world tries to harden her with, she's going to fearlessly rely on and surrender to God to obediently shine the light of the gospel of Christ that saved her from sinful pride, to see others saved, even if it offends others. And she prays for and exhorts us to do the same. Again, love her heart on this EP. Well, that's it for this week. Come back next week for 5 more releases. If you like what you saw in this video, please subscribe. We put out videos every Friday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. Also, if you have any thoughts on today's releases or what I may have said about them, let me know that in the comments below. Also in the comments, you can let me know if there's any awesome releases that came out today that you want to see in next week's video. Also, check out the playlist section for my Music of Dreams playlist, available here on YouTube and also on Spotify. And this month's edition of the playlist includes songs from artists like Manifest, Matthew West, Rhett Walker, Big Daddy Weeb, and others. So go and check that out if you're interested. Well, go now. See you next week.